Welcome all to the Gita session. Before going to the first chapter, I would like to take this opportunity to talk a little about the overview of Gita and also the main concepts in Gita, and also a small brief description as to why should we study Gita. So when we talk about the overview of Gita, the entire Bhagavad Gita can be divided into 5 topics. First one is identifying the problem, which is covered in the first and the starting portions of the second chapter of Gita. Second thing is finding a solution, which is covered in the major portion of second chapter and reiterated in 7th, 9th and 13th chapters. Implementing the solution. There's a theme dealt in the 3rd, 5th, 12th and 18th chapters. Understanding the values of life, which are stated in many places in Gita and particularly in 16th chapter. And achieving perfection, elaborated in 2nd, 5th and 14th chapters. While going to the main concepts of Gita, the main philosophical subject matter of Bhagavad Gita is explanation of 5 basic concepts. Jiva, the individual soul or the law of the living being. Jagat, the universe, he lies in or nature or matter. Jagadishvara, the creator of the universe or the supreme controller, and the relationship between Jiva, Jagat, and Jagadishvara. Dharma, duty in accordance with divine law, and Kala, the time. In Gita, Krishna is counseling Arjuna on the great idea of Dharma or universal harmony and duty, one's own duty. He begins with the tenet that the soul, the Atman, is eternal and immortal, and any death on the battlefield would involve only shedding of the body, whereas the soul is permanent. In order to clarify his point, Krishna had expounded the Vedas yoga processes and understanding the true nature of the universe. He described the yogic path of devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means devotional service. Karma Yoga, action. Dhyana Yoga, meditation or Raj Yoga. Then finally, Jnana Yoga, which is knowledge. Fundamentally, Bhagavad Gita proposes that true enlightenment comes from going beyond identification with the temporal ego, the false self and ephemeral world, so that one identifies with the truth of immortal self, the absolute soul or Atman. Through detachment from the material sense of ego, the yogi or the follower of the particular path of yoga is able to transcend his or her illusory mortality and attachment to the material world and enters the realm of the Supreme. And in Gita, Krishna refers to the war about to take place as Dharma Yuddha, meaning a righteous war for the purpose of justice. He also stated that he incarnates in age, means yugas, to establish righteousness in the world. When we think about why we should study Gita, Bhagavad Gita has been a source of inspiration and enlightenment for generations. The message of Gita is not merely a general spiritual philosophy or ethical doctrine, but it has a bearing upon the practical aspects and the application of such principles in our day-to-day lives. It is indeed an user's manual for the practice of the art of right living. Not art of living, art of right living. The centuries-old Bhagavad Gita continues to be the most relevant beacon light for all of us today. The modern man, like Arjuna, is at the crossroad where the focus is more on improving the standard of life rather than the standard of. He's just focused on standard of living and not on the standard of life. More on stock exchange index than on human development quotient. More on cost of living than on the quality of life. Yeah, we are spending like anything, but if the quality is not good, why? Why should we? Gita teaches us how to achieve harmony with divinity in the midst of disharmony by subduing all outward energies and remaining in equanimity with pairs of opposites like pain and pleasure, aversion and attraction, success and failure, etc. The focus of the Gita is modernization. The focus of the Gita is modernization, and its aim is the total surrender of man before the Supreme while continuing to perform his duties in the spirit of yoga. I repeat, Gita teaches us how to achieve harmony with divinity in the midst of harmony by subduing all outward energies and remaining in equanimity with pairs of opposites like pain and pleasure, aversion, attraction, success and failure, etc. The focus of the Gita is moderation, and its aim is the total surrender of man before the Supreme while continuing to perform his duties in the spirit of yoga. So, I think by this I will end today's session. From tomorrow onwards, we will start with the Gita chapters. The first chapter is full of questions raised by Dhritarashtra about who all are there, what all people are there, what all things they are doing, who are all there, why they were, what they did after assembling, what the sons of Pandu and also his people do after assembling together in Kurukshetra. And Sanjaya giving answers to the questions of Dhritarashtra. So from tomorrow we will start the chapters. I think the first chapter will go fast because it's just question answer about what is there, who are there, how they are, what all things are doing, what all things is happening, just a commentary. From second